This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
If Charlotte was the warning, the reckoning came 11 days later at Kings Mountain. British Major Patrick Ferguson, marching to join Cornwallis in Charlotte, found himself pursued by nearly 900 Patriot militia from the Carolina backcountry, and the fierce Overmountain men cut him off.
When Patrick Ferguson came to Kings Mountain, he wasn't planning to fight a battle here. His plan was to rest, recuperate his army. He was on the road to Charlotte. He was hoping that he would get reinforcements from Lord Cornwallis.
The first column drew fire and threatened the flanks. Then a second swept in from the rear, closing the trap and completing the encirclement.
3 times, the Royal Provincials will charge down the slopes of Kings Mountain here on the left, chasing the Overmountain men before them, down into this ravine on my right, and up the other side. The Overmountain men didn't run away. As soon as they realized they were no longer being pursued, they turned around, whereas moments before they were faced by the bayonets of the Royal Provincials, now they were faced with their backs, and they poured their fire into them.
Among the Patriots at Kings Mountain were 3 African Americans whose service was not symbolic, but decisive. 15-year-old Andrew Ferguson took his place in the line of fire. John Brody, aide-de-camp to Colonel William Campbell, carried his duty through the entire war. And Esaias Bowman, with steady aim, is remembered for firing one of the battle's most fateful shots.
Once the Royal Provincials have been broken as a fighting unit, starting from 120 men and being reduced to 53, the Virginians and the Tennesseans will be able to move in and occupy the peak of Kings Mountain, beginning the process of pushing the Loyalists down to the lower end of Kings Mountain, encircling them so that they can then be destroyed.
With smoke thick on the ridge and his ranks collapsing, Ferguson mounted his horse and led one final desperate charge.
He had told the men that God Almighty could not remove him from the mountain, and it actually turned out to be true.
The militiamen held firm, and they met his charge with a hail of gunfire. 9 men, including Esaias Bowman, claimed to have fired the shot that killed Major Patrick Ferguson. When his body was recovered following the battle, he was found to have been struck 7 times.
Even Thomas Jefferson said that it turned the tide of success that won for America its seal of independence.